Hi, it's me, Herbert Erpaderp. That's my name. How you doing, Trekan? I hope you're well. Welcome to the Infinite Bergepanther, which is nearing theoretical completion. I've decided, because the instructions currently are showing me side skirt assembly and actually, I will put some of the rear hull plate bits on, but I'm not going to do the lower hull detail bits like the side skirts until the upper hull is finished, so I can group them all together without making editing more annoying for poor editing Herbert. Editing Herbert is a simple man. We must treat him as such, I guess. So, what that means is fiddly bits. There's a tiny little bar that goes, what looks like it goes between this mudguard and the front of the hull. We got some shackles for the shackle doodadery, which is actually part of the lower hull, so I don't need to worry about them. But there is a bracket that goes on here. I'm doing alright. Pretty uncomfortable because it's so fucking hot. Well, instantly hot. I think it's still winter technically. But otherwise, I'm okay. I did have to go outside and experience people because I'm an idiot today. I managed to jam my phone charging cable between the pivot point of my camera arm and the mount that it sits in, which of course severed the cable partially, enough that it didn't work, so I had to go and buy a new one. Don't do what Herbert does. Anyway, I need some sprues. Specifically the J3 sprue, which is not this one. That's a 2. G2 also. This is a Q. I'll need that one soon. G2 has the shooty stick on it. The outside terror is waiting for me after the stream. I'm sorry to hear that. I can find the letters and numbers. I'm well aware that turning my head away from the microphone makes me near inaudible. It's too bad, you've missed out on whatever important things I was saying. J3. Found it. I think I'm going to have to start using my air conditioner again. That's annoying. There's only 3 components to this gun assembly, and one of them seems to be very tiny. That's what she said. J3 5. It's so tiny. I can't quite tell if the little arch bit on the bottom is the part or the sprue. I think it's the part. We will endeavour to not feed this to the carpet monster. It's actually kind of nice that there's a big unneeded nubbin stuck on it. Gives you something to hold. until you remove that nubbin. And then you've got to scrape that to get rid of the small fraction of nubbin. I declare that's good enough. I can imagine what you said. It was something including probably ass or lettuce, I guess. I've already forgotten what I said, but you're probably right. Okay. This is J2, not G2. They are different. Did you put the one you want back in the box? Sure did. What a ding-a-ling. This very shooty looking stick. It's a notification device. It lets the enemy infantry know, hey, I'm very displeased with you and your actions. Cease and desist immediately. That's what it says. I know how to understand gun. Part 36 is right here, and that's very thin. Very thin. Please do not break. Okay. This is going to be one of those parts where it makes holding the model even more treacherous. So it is a discussion helper. It's a universal translator of sorts. This is difficult to hold and not break. I think that's neat enough. I need to get that a bit smoother. Don't want to apply too much pressure to this gun because it's very thin. Rhetorical argument shortener. Bullets can be rhetorical. Damn it. Maybe I should drill the tip of the barrel out. Ha 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 ha. That would be ridiculous. Okay, how do we sit this in the doobie what's it? Probably with mild fiddliness. Bigger pop out in the instructions might be nice. Allegedly. I think there is a top part to the little brackety bit that goes underneath. Sorta. No. I don't want you to go flying. That's exactly the opposite of what I want. Tiny things like this are kind of difficult to test fit and get an idea of where they should go. And that's kind of annoying. So, I'm just gonna do the YOLO, as the kids say. I'm definitely knowledgeable on what the kids say. I'm hip and cool. That drum sound is the Herbert has just made a factual and accurate statement sound, in case you weren't aware. Looks like what they want. And therefore, it is what they want. The smart thing to do would be to let that bond, because that's the point that holds the gun in place. And it will be annoying if it moves at 2 points. So, over there you go. And that's the only, I think only, part of that step remaining. No, we've got to put a little cap over the towing cable holding pin, I guess you'd call it. Same thing for both sides. Just they want to spread out the fun over a couple of different instructions. You can't have too much little circular doodad adding fun in one go. Something under my wheel. Not cool. G2 sprue is what we want. And I believe they're both part 42. Look at how heckin' tiny they are. It seems almost... well, I guess it makes molding easier for the hull, but it almost seems like it's redundant to have such a tiny little bits. That one bounced, so I want to hold this one. Tiny bits of plastic are what it's all about. Must have done a fantastic job clipping that one off. I can't even see the clipping point. They will now be glued into place. After I have a drink. There's a guide pin on the bottom of them, but it's not in the center of the circle. So I need to look closer to figure out which way they want that. Can't actually tell by looking. I do think it would sit with the bulk of the disc upwards, though. That makes the most sense. That's what I'm going to go with. That's kind of what it looks like in the... Look closer! I don't know. Is this close enough? Huh? I looked closer. Didn't work. I'm going to go with my assumption. Try not to add too much glue, because I think if I add too much glue, I may reactivate the bond holding that cable end in place. Oh, that's good. That's just sort of locked itself in on an angle in the wrong spot. That's exactly what we want. Oh, for fuck's sake. Can't you just behave how I need you to? I didn't want to use tweezers with this because there's a really good chance that it will just pop out and go fucking flying. This seems like it should be really simple. Turns out it's not. Possibly because I am even more simple. Fucking cunt. I suspect the glue has evaporated by this point. Right, that worked. I don't want to touch it too much because it'll stop working. That looks pretty good. Now to do the other one off camera, so it just immediately drops right into place. I guess in the end, Mr. Takom lost interest in bringing this kit to a good end. Damn you, Mr. Takom. I mean, it's still probably gonna be a good end. See, it did just drop right into place with no real issues, because the camera was off. And there is, of course, one on the other side. Oh, miraculous. Miraculous and unpredictable. That's what the video is going to sound like. I guess putting this on would not be a bad idea. I don't know if I should put the bracket on first or attach the gun to the bracket. I think I'll attach, because the gun seems to just sit on the bracket. It's probably easier to put the bracket on, have it bonded good and proper, if that's possible, and then stick the gun on. Maybe later than now, though that does of course greatly increase the chance of losing the gun. I wouldn't lose parts of a model. It's a ridiculous notion. Yes. Just go on how I want you to, please. Can't seem to hold the part without feeling like it's gonna break. Pretty interesting way to mount the gun. And eventually, we'll have its shooty stick. Hey, Deathlight Coast, how you doing? I believe now it is safe to turn the page. No, in fact, it is unsafe to turn the page. This is very dangerous. I could have missed a different part for the butt plate. Parts, actually. E2 sprue. Not E, E2. There's a different gun here too. Well, it looks like the same gun, but it's a different one. That's good to know. I wouldn't have the mounting doodad, but if I lost this gun, I could at least possibly use this one. This looks like a stowed weapon, actually. Maybe we do need that later. Who can say? The instructions can say. Not for the butt plate, but shame on you. Bought some second market Warhammer today / yesterday. Second market like second hand or like some other sort of market. Illegal black market Warhammer? 6 and 14. Found them right there. Now I'm immediately thinking I probably should have put these on before that mount for the gun. I'm sure it's not going to be an issue. Minis off someone else since it's cheaper than new? That's true. Unfortunately, our hobbies are very expensive. I can't tell the difference between these two parts. But the way they go on is with these ribs on the outside, so that helps, in case I've mixed them up. Buying minis, I've already read that. Like getting a $100 mini for $30. That's a pretty good bargain. Hopefully there's nothing wrong with it, but even if there is, like, you could probably easily either fix it or do something else with it. I wish I could get bargains like that when I go to, like, train shows especially. I always see posts on, like, Reddit where people are like, go to model train shows, you'll get really cheap trains. Not here, you won't. Okay, this needs to be upside down, which is why I was mentioning the gun mount. So if I just lay it on its top, that'll break it. Almost 100% certainly. Okay, I think that goes like that. Please show me the butt plate again in a picture. I believe I'm correct. And they're even painted. I guess that is for some not part of the fun, but like, there's nothing wrong with that either. Okay. That seems to be focused. Went into the slot before. Why were you disagreeing with me now? Come on. I was hoping to put this in without pushing the other one over. Fiddlesticks. For some reason, it looks a little bit off to me. Maybe the disc it's mounted on is a bit off. I'm sure it's fine. Nobody's gonna see there. In the cord. I probably saw it then. Okay, that is for towing poles, which I'm not going to mount there. Excuse me. So I probably don't need to worry about it being too aligned. Just that it's there. showing up is a big part of the battle or something. Maybe it looks off because you're no butt expert. Well, not Bergepanther butts, but I am familiar with butts. I've seen a butt before. And I know how brackets look on butts. Just not Bergepanther butts. Okay, now we got a round thing and some square things and a three-pointed thing. Technical terms. I'm sorry if they're confusing, but I'm not really sorry. We'll start with that. Looks like these are impedance nubbins, not helpful nubbins. That seems smooth enough. Haven't got rid of them all yet. No reason for excuses. I saw a lot of tank chats by the Tank Museum Bovington, and they often talk of things without when mentioning a part of a tank. And they often talk of things when mentioning a part of a tank. I'm confused. Is you saying they don't use the technical terms? Fools. They're probably just trying to appeal to everybody, though. Not everybody realizes that it's the butt of the tank. Okay, this should be simple. How can I make it catch fire? Looks right. I don't think there's a particular way around it should go. It seems quite symmetrical. Let's glue it on. I'll just put it in and then add glue after. Add glue to the inside. Down on it to keep it down. Maybe a little glue on the outside wouldn't hurt. Herbert thinks it's simple. This never ended in a modeling catastrophe. Never. I would never have a modeling catastrophe. Never. Everything I do turns out exactly great as I intend it. The hubris. This is definitely going to cause misery in the future. Next step, you need the same sprue. And the step after that involves these little hatches. So I'm just going to cut them out now. Don't forget the other parts, Herbert. I'm kind of tempted to model this open, I think. I'd assume this is a little flappy doodad that would open. But I might just model it closed. These are identical. These are brackets for holding a big square log. They prepared their log well. Can't have a raw log like the Soviets. You've got to mill it and make it nice and square. That's why they call you Herbert. Always great endings, Erpaderp. Happy endings, Herbert, they call me. Oh, this instruction includes that little disc thingy that for the retaining the towing cable. And the next page shows us the log being assembled, so I'm going to cut that out as well. Because why the hell not? I'm actually kind of wondering if it might be easier to slide the brackets onto the log and then put it on the model, rather than glue them as the instructions say to glue them on and then slide it through the bracket. I think that will probably risk damaging the bracket. I don't want to do that. This has a curve to it. But not so bad that it'll be an issue, I think. Let's see. This needs cleanup, but it's going to be a very, very tight fit. There's a couple of pins under there that maybe shouldn't be there. I'll figure it out. Is that Bergepanther music? I think so. The slower bit. I'd imagine the Bergepanther isn't super fast. This guitar bit is when it unfolds its crane and picks things up, throws them around. Maybe I should have had a fresh blade on my knife. There's another one on the bottom there. Might interfere with the fitting of the part, which is undesirable. Very Bergepanther themed. Maybe it's a band that just plays Bergepanther music. Barnaby and I briefly talked about doing a band that, not about Bergepanther music, but like tank and World War II themed music. Clearly we never did anything with the idea. Very delicate. Go slowly and carefully, lest you run into peril. Excuse me. I would like to hear a song about World War II dick tanks. Who wouldn't? I bet it would upset a lot of people. It's not right to call it a dick tank. keyboard diddly sound in this song just doesn't quite seem right to me. You two are Australians. If you're going this way, you have to make a Dick Tank song. It's the law. I know. I was just saying that people would be all upset by it because people are giant babies. Giant piss babies, if you will. I think the smart thing to do, once I've cleaned it up, is glue this together first, so it has time to bond, and then I'll try to kajigga the brackets onto it. Looks pretty good along the long sides. Hey, Fat Cat Tubby Bottom, how you doing? Oh, that's new. Automod held a message for a reason. Smart detection. Guess what it is? Somebody dumping a link. Let's click deny. And by somebody, I mean an automated bot that won't even be insulted by me calling them a worthless piece of shit. I'm good. Warm, but good. Too warm. According to my computer, it's 20 degrees. My phone says it's 23, and it's 10:30 at night. And it's really muggy. Yeah. This isn't end of winter weather. Traditionally, when winter ends, there's a period where it gets warmer. Yes, keep whining about the weather, Herbert. That's gonna help. To avoid getting glue on my fingers, how about I do this and add glue to the ends when it's together? The glue basically evaporated before I got it together. This is the fun bit where you get to hold the parts. This guy sounds very cranky. I don't know what he's singing about. Possibly somebody kicked his cornflakes off the table. That would make me angry. Yep, that's why people build models holding the parts. Holding is so much fun. It's true. Just run this down here and rough the corner up a little bit. It should look a little better. And there's a very small gap there, which gets filled in if you rub the blade over it and force plastic into it. There is very slight wood grain molded into this too, which you probably never see on the overhead, but it is there. There isn't really any grain molded on the ends though. That's fine. I managed to make a cut in this bit, so it's not perfect. That might need some filling. Boy, what an idiot I am. Do this carefully. It's funny because sexual intercourse. What a child I am. Okay, the trick, if you want to call it that, will be to get both of these brackets around the same way. If I can get that done, that would be impressive. That's what we want. Something like that. I need to look at the other page to determine how far forward or back the log should sit. That's why I'm here, to be impressed. I know. Me and my incredibly impressive set of skills. Everybody's constantly amazed. I don't know if they're positively amazed or if it's negative, but I don't care. That goes there. It looks like we only need a little bit of log forward, like that. It's big, it's heavy, it's wood. It's better than bad. It's good. I'm wondering if it might be worth leaving the log unglued. It wasn't actually that difficult to slide it through the brackets. This might be a part that gets left for painting separately. It does seem like a sensible idea. Possibly the first sensible idea I've ever had. So that it doesn't get lost, I might as well leave it on the brackets. I don't think I managed to plop any glue on the underside of the bracket. That looks good. That slides easily. You just have to be really careful if you take it out and put it back in. But this is a sensible idea channel. I was lying. But now it is a sensible idea channel. We've had one, so obviously the rest will be sensible too. Okay, now to turn back in the instructions to where I was at. The three-pronged bit is a bracket for something. It looks like it's for stowing the crane, which means we don't need to worry about what goes into it because I want the crane in craning mode, unstowed mode. Confusing myself. It's pointing out the towing cable instructions. I've already added that. Being quite the rebel in this build. Cannot tell if this is symmetrical, but I think it is. This forward bit, either I nudged it before it bonded, or I simply glued it on at a weird angle and didn't even realize. If I can nudge it back without breaking it, be ideal. Otherwise, I might have to concoct some story about battle damage or no good punk kids vandalizing things. I don't know if that broke or not, but it's staying where it should. And it'll stay there forever, because that's what I want to happen. Now for the lid. Focused. I'm trying to demonstrate to the camera that one bit overlaps the other slightly. It's not going as easily as I want it to, but I'm sure people will understand when I say it. Yeah, that's perfect. Say what? Something. I don't know if this is something that should be glued together and then installed on the hull or what. If this was glued to the hull, the bottom hull, it would be a bit stronger and easier to do. Doesn't seem to want to sit perfectly shut. Seems like the way to do it would be to glue one half on and then the other. Should also probably be sure that I'm gluing it around the right way. It's hard to tell if it even matters. Hello, Bergepanther. You're telling me the doors aren't articulated? Well, you could probably model them open or closed, but there's no actual articulation. It would be neat if there was, though. Don't think it really matters which way around they go. Reapply the glue. because it's very hot in here and it immediately evaporates. Fiddlesticks. Guess that log is kind of in the way. Guess it's more of a beam than a log. And that's tilted forwards again. That's painfully annoying. That's just going to keep moving back, isn't it? Stay there, you shit. Wanna please the gluing on the right way, police? Yes. Because they'll beat me up if I don't. Don't deserve another beating. I'm just gonna move the camera out of the way because it's in the way. Feck! Why? Something to do with the laws of physics, Herbert. Some sort of gravity. Doesn't want to sit properly down on this side for some reason. Curse you, Newton. Newton. If I put my fingers under it, that will probably stop it from falling out. Oh, fuck. Now there's a big blue fingerprint on top there that I'll have to either cover or scrape off. I was not counting on it seeping through there. That will be best left until it's dry. What am I missing? Nothing. Probably. Those instructions are towing cable. Done that. What a great rust spot that'll be. Maybe. Or maybe somebody's just tossed a rag over it. Actually, I do think I skipped a heart earlier. Even though I checked to see if I hadn't, I did. On the G2 sprue. G240. Right here. It's got more of an angle. It's got like a bend in it that isn't apparent in the instruction because of the angle of the diagram. This should, in theory, just flop into place, into some holes on the hull. I suspect it just sits against the mudguard there. Where's the picture I was looking at before? Doesn't show the front. Peaceful, chill model building music. Cute. It is. It is peaceful and chill. I don't know if that hole is big enough. I'm going to lean towards no. It's too small. Just enlarge it a tiny bit. Make it bigger.
That's what she said.
That is what she said. That'll probably stay there long enough for me to get the glue out. Looks reasonable to me. I'm assuming that's some sort of grab handle. You know, if you want to sit on the front plate while the Bergepanther is driving around, you can hang on there. Okay, the next steps. Just make sure I haven't missed anything. The next steps largely involve crane-related doodadery.
Too tired to piss, too full of piss to sleep.
Relatable. And crane looks like it will be much easier to model it stowed, but the crane doesn't look too difficult. I'm not entirely sure I understand this instruction. Is this assembly for this, or is that a separate part? It's for future Herbert to worry about, I think. I think that's enough for me. I feel like I've actually got a lot done today. There's far more stuff on there now than there was earlier. I've still got to glue down these cables so they're not so loose. I was worried they might get in, and they still might get in the way of the crane. But that's fine. That looks good. It works. Probably. I'm gonna see if there's a person on the Twitch to do a raid at. I will probably be back in the morning. Likely for some farm sim. Or maybe for some tavern sim. Who doesn't want to do tavern things early in the morning? You know what? I'm gonna raid Curvy Elephant because he's doing D&D. He normally does GTA roleplay, but I've been enjoying the D&D streams that particular little group has been doing. Click this button, and then this button, and then things will happen. I will see you probably tomorrow, otherwise later. Thank you for watching. Farewell.